Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the More Analytics Afternoon Energy Podcast for January 6th, going into the 7th. We're going to start off the natural gas today. Tomorrow has a good likelihood of seeing range expansion. Been bearish since $8.20.8, and also more recently from 528.90 and a number of other levels here. And we've traded down to 332.40. Decent trade back above this formation, which is going to come in at 348 to 348.10. We'll warn of decent strength, likely for a couple hundred ticks or more. Crude oil rolled over today. Okay, the trade above 58.12 had warned of strength, but we only saw it trade up to 58.87 before failing back below this line right here. I said to get short below 58.04. Or excuse me, that was this line right here. Actually, no, I did say to get short below there because I said here to get long about 58.43. If we break above there decently and back down through it decently, look for decent pressure. So we started to see pressure from there and then additional pressure from below this line, and we've come off down to 56.84. Then solid trade below this formation right here will warn of solid pressure again. That's going to come in at 56.71 to 56.72 through tomorrow. We break back above this line decently. That'll warn of decent strength again. That's going to come in at 57.99. Minus 0.4 of a tick per hour starting at 6 o'clock p.m. Tuesday. And in the unleaded gasoline, or RBOB, I warned her likely in the last stretch of the move down from 203.58 with possible exhaustion at 167.15 to 675, which we held with a 166.50 low and bounced up to 173.59. We had also broken above this line here and this line here, but then failed back down through them, which warned of renewed pressure. And the line where we fell back down below came in at 172.20, and we have now come off down to 169.33. I expect continued pressure through there. If we were to trade back above those lines decently, they would warn of decent strength again. Those are going to come in at 172.08 and 172.58, minus 2.5 each, starting at 6 o'clock p.m. Tuesday. And the heating oil, despite having a maintained gap higher yesterday, came off today steadily. The break above 212.58, I said warned of strength. You saw strength up to 215.10. Then we fell below this formation right here, which came in at 213.08. And the decent break below there warned of pressure. We've seen pressure now down to 207.66. I would caution that we may be in the last stretch of the move down from 256.55. With possible exhaustion levels right here at 208.15 to 506, and then lower down at 196, 119. However, this did go out weak. I expect we'll probably see some more follow through on the downside. So also, if we trade back above this line, this will warrant a decent strength. That's going to come in at 209.43, minus 0.7 of a tick per hour, starting at 6 o'clock p.m. Tuesday. And the Brent, a maintain gap low in there tomorrow. We'll leave a minor bearish reversal above. The trade above 61.42 brought in strength up to 62.33 before failing back down through this formation. At 61.64, which has brought in pressure down to 60.40. A decent trade back above this line will again warrant a renewed strength. That's going to come in at 61.43, minus 0.5 a tick per hour, starting at 6 o'clock p.m. And the gas oil, the trade above 612.50, brought in strength up to 624.25 before we fell back down below this line. Which came in at 613.50, torn to pressure. We've seen pressure down to 604. Additional decent trade below 607.28, plus 1.6 per hour starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Tuesday will warn of decent pressure for $20. If we break below there decently and back up through it decently, look for decent short covering to come in. Cadence going into tomorrow is the RBOB is the strongest of the three, the crude oil in the middle, and the heating oil the weakest of the three relative to one another. I would also note that the RBOB crack finally took out a fairly long-standing trend line and warrants a higher trade. If we fail back down through there decently, that'll warrant of decent pressure again, likely back down towards the lows. Heating oil maintain gap higher tomorrow. We'll leave a minor bullish reversal below. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good evening, and I'll see you on tomorrow's podcast.